Okay, so I am sitting on my deck that I spent about a year. Hey, Chester. This is our new puppy, Chester. Spent about a year rebuilding this entire deck. So this house was built, okay, thanks, buddy. Let me talk. This house was built in the late 60s, and who knows when the deck was added, but the deck was in really bad shape. It was falling apart. So chill, dude. Stop. Stop. I'm going to put you in your cage. No more. Sit, 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 sit. Good, yes. What I want to do in this video is I want to share, really highlight three things. The awesome material we used for the decking. All this came from Thermory. We also put a bunch of it up in the ceiling. It's called thermally modified ash. We'll talk more about that in this video. And if you want to learn about all this stuff, I have a whole series on this whole deck build, and I'll link it down in the description so you guys can watch it. I definitely recommend you watch the first video because that shows just how bad a shape the original deck was in. I mean, the roof above me was about to collapse because it was literally just the posts were rotted out. So we're going to talk about the decking. We're going to talk about the cabling system we used for the railing from Cable Bullet. And then, of course, one of the coolest things about this deck is the lighting at night. We've got all kinds of LED low voltage lighting in the ceiling, in the stairs here, and on the railings. And that all came from DEKOR. So I want to kind of highlight those three main spots. So before we start, a couple things first. Two people I got to say a big thanks to. First is my dad, obviously, because he's always such a huge help in these projects. He doesn't get paid. He just shows up and helps me and figures it out and deals with sometimes my frustration. So I'm so thankful for my dad. Probably wouldn't have gotten a lot of this done without him. And then Travis White, who is a good buddy of mine, who was the guy who handled a lot of the just building of this, because I'm a furniture maker. I tend to freak out and do things down to the 16th, and when it comes to framing and all this, I get too tedious about it, I guess. I don't know what the right word is. And Travis came out and he helped me frame the deck out, helped me get everything shored up. The ceiling was all out of whack and dropping. So he really, without Travis, I don't think I would have figured this out. So I'm going to definitely link Travis's stuff in the description. He's a home builder, super talented guy. I'll put his Instagram and his website down there so you guys can go check out his work. Just a big thanks to him for helping out. So let's jump in and start with this awesome deck flooring and skirting and the ceiling from Thermory. Now, before we start showing off the thermally modified ash from Thermory, let's talk about where we started with this deck. So this house was built in the 60s, deck might have been added in the 70s, I don't know, but it was really, really old. As you can tell here, the floorboards were rotting. My kids got splinters on them constantly. In fact, we didn't allow them on it without shoes. The stairs here was falling down. I had it supported with a cinder block. The railing along the side had completely collapsed in some spots and was starting to fall off in these taller spots here. The paint was all faded, the skirting was breaking out. We had animals under it. I mean, it was in really bad shape. That front walkway there, you could see that railing really sagging. It was all collapsing under there, and the supports had all rotted out. So the deck was just, it was becoming a hazard. And I don't think we realized how bad it was until we started tearing things out and seeing what the actual support, the framing for this deck looked like. And you can see here we got the skirt off. There is no concrete footings for this deck. It was all what might have been telephone poles buried directly in the ground. This is the remains of the poles supporting the front walkway, just totally rotten, eaten up by insects, a lot of dry rot. And then this is Travis's first look at the deck before we started working on it. So,
whoa.
Yeah. I mean, I noticed
not even.
It's hanging off the edge.
About 2/3 on there.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then
it's crumbling.
There's like lizards living in there, man. Wow. So it was bad. It was really bad, and I'm really glad we decided to tackle this when we did. So we tore everything out and immediately went in and put concrete footings, proper bracing in there. These will help keep our supports up off the floor, keep moisture off of them. We also added a really cool planter. So this is something that you can go back and watch the video, but we poured a giant concrete planter. Thankful to have Travis's help for that. So thankfully, Thermory jumped on board to provide the wood for this deck, and we won't have any issues with their thermally modified ash. with rot or insects or anything like that because it's been baked and heated in ovens. They cook the sugars out of it. This stuff does not decay. And they shipped me a whole pallet's worth of this stuff to do the new deck in. So once we reframed everything, we installed the new flooring. Really easy process. They have all the hardware provided. It's all clip hardware, so you don't see any face screws or anything of that nature. We used it on the deck flooring, on the skirting, and on the ceiling above us. You can just see here just how beautiful that material looks. It really is a game changer. It's held up really well it's been up for over a year. It grays a little bit, but the great thing about this material is it does not warp or twist or move. It's very stable. So as I mentioned, we also installed it all on the roof, which was quite the project. It took a long time to put all these boards up, but I think it was worth every bit of the work. Above there before was just 1/4-inch paneling that was painted. So this really adds just a beautiful touch. The way this roof is slanted up, if you stand out in the yard, you just look at it and you see this really beautiful wood underlayment under the roof. So it was a great addition. The skirting was a little bit wider boards with a 1/4-inch gap. I love the way this looks. Real simple, clean lines. I was thankful to have Travis to help install the skirting because it wasn't an easy thing to install. The way I wanted to do it was have grain wraps on the miters and make everything look nice and clean. It was just a challenge. I even, on the step side, on the other side of the deck, did this fancy little miter deal with my Festool domino. That's held up really well. The grain's kind of flowing there. And you can see here with a little bit of oil on it just how beautiful that wood looks. And this is probably 6-7 months removed from the install of it. So it's seen some Texas heat, some sun, some rain, and it looks great. Now for the railing, I found some old reclaimed longleaf here for all of the wood components, minus the 4x4 posts, which are painted cedar. And this longleaf pine is, old growth longleaf pine is just an eye catcher. It's a beautiful wood, and it's super stable as well. It's reclaimed, it's stable. Cable Bullet here sent me all the necessary material and tools to install a beautiful cabling system. I love the look of these cable systems. It's a bit of a tedious job, but Cable Bullet makes it really easy with their kits. They designed the entire thing for me. I just sent them the plans of my railing, and they sent everything I needed, and it was just a beautiful look. I think it's a great addition to this deck. The challenge is just keeping my kids from using it as a ladder, but we're working on that. We're getting there. Okay, and finally, the really just thing that ties it all together and makes it happen, because you hang out on a deck a lot at night, is this lighting system from DEKOR. So we lit this deck up with Stair lighting, Soffit lighting, skirting lighting, all came from DEKOR. It's a low voltage system. Again, just like Cable Bullet, you send them the design, they'll come up with something for you, a whole lighting scheme, and they send it in a box and you basically just plug and play. It's a really simple system to set up, and it really adds a great touch to the deck. They have controllers for these lights that dim them so you can go different brightnesses. It's just a really nice touch to this deck. You can see here how they install, and just a little bit of a light there in the soffit. I have quite a few of these, and at night it'll light up the whole deck, and we can sit out there and read books or entertain people, no problem. Again, on the skirting, we put lighting as well to downlight our plants. So this is somewhat of a conclusion to a long journey. Sorry it's taken me so long to shut this down. This deck has been awesome for our family. My kids play with it. They run their toys off over here. We've had family out here, friends out here. I've had Bible studies on this deck. I love to get up early in the morning or sit out here at night with my wife. We'll do our Bible studies together out here, and it's just a great spot to just relax and enjoy this beautiful property we have. Now, there's more to this that I'm a phase 2 that I don't know if it'll fall onto YouTube or not. It might, but it's going to be another deck about where you're sitting, right where the camera is. That goes out my master bedroom, and then we've got some additional concrete planters to make to close in our fence, and then some really pretty gates. That's actually going to happen pretty soon. The back deck might be a little ways down the road, but you know, if y'all are interested, I'd love to share that content as well. I love these bigger projects, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful to Thermery, to Cable Bullet, and DEKOR Lighting for making this such a cool, awesome project, and for getting on board with me and supporting this build. So y'all leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of the deck. Like I said, I apologize for taking so long to kind of give you the final version of it. But here it is, and I hope you enjoyed it. And let's stay tuned for phase 2 on this. Right, Mayor? Or Chester? Got your name wrong. Camera's probably getting a little wet.